Bro, what's good, nation? We're back, and let me tell you, today we've got an episode that has everything a Commanders fan needs to really see where this team is headed in 2026. We're talking cap space moves that could change the whole game, trade rumors that are straight up mind-blowing, and a defensive possibility that literally has everybody out here daydreaming. And no, that's not cap, fam. This is crazy. Adam Peters is out here playing chess while other teams are playing Chinese checkers. The guy has more than $100 million in cap space to work with. And every day more reports come out about how that number could stretch even further. Restructures? Check. Smart extensions? Check. Potential trades that could launch this offense into another dimension? Double check. Today we're breaking down everything, from the most aggressive financial moves to the defensive name everybody wants to see in burgundy and gold. And bro, before we dive all the way in, let me say this. This offseason is critical. No exaggeration. Jaylen Daniels just wrapped up a rookie season that put the name on the map as one of the most promising quarterbacks in the league. There is a 3 to 4 year window while that rookie deal is still in place, and that window is pure gold for building a legit roster. Because once JD5 signs that extension, that cap space is going to shrink massively. So this is the moment where Adam Peters has to be aggressive, sharp, and surgical with every single move. Okay, fam, straight to it. Dean Jones over at Rigo's Rag just dropped an article that's basically the blueprint for how Adam Peters could turn the Commanders into kings of the 2026 free agent market. Moves that could push the cap space north of $125 million. Yeah, you read that right. First, big picture context. 2026 cap projections, which is wild on its own. But Peters is not the type to settle for a lot of money. The goal is to squeeze every single dollar, every single cent. And that, fam, is the biggest window of opportunity this team is going to have for years. Because look at what's real. Teams like the Chiefs, Eagles, Niners, all of them took advantage of that window while their quarterbacks were on rookie. Contracts to build stacked rosters. Kansas City won a Super Bowl with Patrick Mahomes on a rookie deal. Philly made it to a Super Bowl with Jaylen Hurts still cheap. The difference is, this team has more cap space than almost anybody else in the league. That's a massive advantage if it's handled the right way. Projected savings, $15.84 million dead money, zero new total cap space, $118.01 million, bro. This is the single most critical move out of all of them. Laramie Tunsil landed in Washington in a trade a lot of people side-eyed at first. The Commanders had to ship out serious draft capital to the Houston Texans to get the deal done, and plenty of folks were like, why are we trading picks for a 30-year-old tackle? Tunsil played basically every snap when healthy, and the pass protection was immaculate. Per Pro Football Focus, only 2 sacks allowed the entire regular season. 2. In a league where edge rushers like Micah Parsons, Max Crosby, and TJ Watt are hunting quarterbacks every week, Tunsil kept Jaylen Daniels clean. And that is not just important, bro. That's essential. Jaylen is mobile, sure, but the goal is not watching the quarterback scramble every single play. The goal is a clean pocket, so the reads can be made, Terry can be found downfield, and Cliff. Kingsbury's offense can run the way it's actually drawn up. The run blocking was surprisingly nasty and dominant. In Kingsbury's scheme, with the mix of zone runs and gap concepts, Tunsil showed straight-up elite versatility. Reach blocks on outside zone pulling. On counters, sealing defensive ends on power runs. That kind of toolbox is what separates good tackles from great tackles. Then there's the mentor side. Josh Connolly Jr., the rookie right tackle out of Ole Miss, had a solid first year, but there were growing pains. Too many penalties, some ugly reps in pass pro against pure speed rushers, inconsistent hand usage. But Tunsil was there all year, working, teaching, correcting. And bro, that is priceless. The team is building an offensive line for the long haul, and having an elite vet like Tunsil guiding the young guys is exactly what's needed. Money time. Tunsil wants a new deal and has been pretty open about it. The guy knows the value and is looking to possibly reset the market in that $28 to $30 million per year range. And yeah, that sounds like a lot of money. But look at the market. Trent Williams in San Francisco is at $23 million per year. Penei Sewell just locked in with the Lions at $28 per. The going rate for elite tackles is exploding. And Tunsil, at 30, is still playing at an all-pro level. So is it worth it? In my view, absolutely. Extend Tunsil now, structure the contract to drop the 2026 cap hit, and suddenly there is almost $16 million freed. That's massive, fam. Plus, it avoids another Terry McLaurin situation where a core player feels underpaid, negotiations drag, and tension builds for no reason. Tunsil is repping personally on this deal, which can cut out an agent taking a slice and overcomplicating things, but it also means the talks might get more emotional. If Adam Peters handles this with the same calm, sharp approach used everywhere else, both sides should be able to land on a deal before free agency even kicks off. And once that happens, bro, the blindside protector is locked in for the next 4 to 5 years, right through the heart of Jaylen Daniels' prime. Move number 2. Restructure Sam COSMI projected savings. $9.85 million dead money, zero new total cap space. $127.86 million now. Sam Cosmi, one of the most underrated players on this entire roster. Bro, this dude does not get anywhere close to the respect deserved. Cosmi came in as a second-rounder back in 2021, played tackle the first few seasons, then slid inside to guard in 2024 and was straight-up spectacular. Then in 2025, coming off an ACL tear late in 2024, plenty of people doubted whether the same level could be reached again. But Cosmi didn't just come back. The guy dominated. Pro Football Focus had Cosmi graded as one of the top guards in the entire league in 2025. Pass protection steady, run blocking both physical and technically sound, and the chemistry with the rest of the offensive line was on point. That kind of flexibility is GOLD in today's NFL, with injuries hitting every year and the need for linemen who can play more than one spot. Cosmi finished the 2025 season on injured reserve, but that move was all precaution. The team was already out of the playoff picture, and there was no reason to risk long-term health in meaningless games. Now the knee is good, and the contract runs through 2028, which lines up beautifully. So why restructure? Because if a chunk of the base salary is converted to a signing bonus and spread out over the remaining years, it's a kick-the-can down the road maneuver. The cap hits in 2027 and 2028 will be higher. But if the whole point is to maximize resources in 2026 during the Jaylen window, this move makes ALL sense. And check the totals. That's insane. More than enough to sign 2 or 3 top-shelf free agents, keep key in-house players, and still have room for in-season flexibility. Move number 3. Extend Tyler Biadasz. This one is a bit more speculative, and Dean Jones even says it could go either way. But it's worth breaking down the logic. Tyler Biadasz came in as a solid free agent ad before the 2025 season. The move was from Dallas, where the player was a steady starter, not exactly a superstar. And that is exactly what has been delivered in Washington. Steady, not flashy. Not the most athletic center out there. Not a pure mauler in the run game, but someone who does the job. In Kingsbury's scheme, identifying blitzes, setting protections, making checks, communicating constantly with the quarterback. Biadasz checks those boxes. Jaylen Daniels trusts the calls. The line functions smoothly with this piece in the middle, and there's no extra noise off the field. Should there be an extension? It comes down to price. If an extension can be structured that saves cap space in 2026 without locking the team into some huge, long-term monster contract, then it makes sense. But if the ask is in the 12 to 15 million dollars per year range, then it probably makes more sense to let the current deal ride and reassess later. The center market is not as insane as tackle or even guard money. Creed Humphrey and Frank Ragnow are at the top around 16 to 18 million per year. But those guys are elite. Biadasz is more in that 8 to 10 million per year lane. If an extension can be done in that range and still free 2026 cap room, that's a clear win-win. Jones also points out there are even more levers that could be pulled elsewhere on the roster to free up additional space. And when the roster is laid out, a few names jump off the page. Andrew Wiley, for example. Wiley was a starting right tackle in 2024, but with Tunsil in the building and currently developing, that role is gone. The 2026 cap hit is close to $7 million. Easy call. Another candidate is Curtis Samuel. Samuel was a solid contributor in 2024 and 2025. But with Dyami Brown's emergence and the likely addition of another receiver, the role might shrink. The 2026 cap hit is around $10 million, and moving on would save about $7 million. Not something that has to be done, but a lever that's there if more room is needed. Zooming out for a second, what is the actual macro strategy? Because this is not just about having a fat cap number. It's about how that room gets used. Adam Peters comes out of San Francisco, learning under John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan. The Niners' philosophy has always been, build through the draft, supplement with smart free agency, and do not be afraid to be aggressive when there is a real window to compete. And that's exactly what Peters is cooking up here. Look at the body of work so far. Traded for Martian Lattimore. That one didn't fully hit. Traded for Laramie Tunsil. Absolute home run. Drafted well with picks like Mike St. Ristel and Johnny Newton. Because here's the thing, fam. Peters knows this is the shot. Jaylen Daniels proved in year one that this is the quarterback. The culture is shifting. Dan Quinn has this team competing. And with more than $125 million in cap space, Peters can fill the remaining holes and move this roster from playoff contender to Super Bowl contender. Okay, fam, we know the money is there. We know how Adam Peters can push it north of $125 million. Now here comes the million-dollar question. What are we actually spending all that cash on? Because money is great, but it only matters if it goes into the right players. And bro, when this report from Darya Sharma over at the Sporting News popped up, I almost fell out of the chair. Jaylen Waddle. Because I can, and honestly, the idea has me obsessed. And it is not just me, fam. The whole nation is talking about it on Twitter, on Reddit, in every comment section. Because this is the kind of move that could completely reshape this offense. The Miami Dolphins are in a full-blown organizational mess right now, bro. No exaggeration. Let me lay out what's been going down in South Beach these last few months. First, Mike McDaniel was fired. But after back-to-back seasons without the playoffs in 2024 and 2025, and whenever a head coach gets canned, everything is suddenly on the table. Then Jeff Hafley was brought in as the new head coach. Hafley came over from Green Bay as a defensive coordinator. Defensive-minded coach, which already tells you the entire philosophy is about to swing hard. McDaniel was an offensive savant. Hafley is a defensive guy. That means the offensive system is going to be completely different, and players who thrived under McDaniel might not be such a clean fit in the new world. That move was from the Chargers, where the role was assistant GM. But here's the key. When a new GM walks in, there's a need to put a personal stamp on that locker room. That puts anybody acquired by the last regime, even really good players, on the potential trading block. And then there is the giant elephant in the room, Tua Tagovailoa. The quarterback situation in Miami is an absolute disaster. Tua has taken multiple concussions over the course of the career, some of them genuinely scary. Durability is a huge question. The on-field performance has been up and down. With a new coaching staff and a new front office, reports are out there that Miami is seriously considering moving on. then every expensive player on the roster becomes fair game. Jaylen Waddle, with multiple years left and a significant cap hit, because, bro, Jaylen Waddle is not just some pretty good receiver. This is an elite playmaker who has proven production at the highest level. Waddle was drafted by Miami at number 6 overall in 2021, same class as Devonta Smith, Jamar Chase, and Rashad Bateman. From day one in the league, the production was there. The rookie year, 104 catches. A rookie record at the time for 1,015 yards and 6 touchdowns. In 2022, the player went off for 1,356 yards and 8 touchdowns, lining up next to Tyreek Hill. In 2023, another 1,000-plus season, 1,144 yards and 4 touchdowns. In 2025, the stat line was 910 yards and 6 touchdowns. That's not quite elite WR1 numbers, fair enough. But look at the context. Miami's quarterback situation was a full-on carousel. Tua missed time with injuries. The backups were brutal. The offensive line was a disaster. And even in that mess, Waddle still produced. Now imagine that skill set with a quarterback like Jayden Daniels. Accurate, with legit arm talent, able to extend plays with the legs. Thinking about Jaylen Waddle in Cliff Kingsbury's system. With Jayden Daniels at quarterback, lined up alongside Terry McLaurin, bro, the possibilities are endless. First up, Waddle's skill set and how it fits what Kingsbury wants. Waddle is an elite route runner. The ability to create separation on short and intermediate routes is top tier. Slants digs, curls, outs, all run with sharp precision and real quickness. Kingsbury's offense lives on timing routes, quick game, and getting the ball out fast. That's a perfect fit. There's also the elite speed. That 4.3740 shows up on Sundays. Waddle stretches the field deep, turns short throws into chunk plays with yards after the catch. And bro, when Terry McLaurin is on one side and Waddle is on the other, how is a defense supposed to cover both? You can't shade safety help both ways. Somebody is in single coverage, and Jayden Daniels is more than good enough to find the mismatch. Kingsbury loves using motion and shifts to create confusion and mismatches. Picture this. Waddle starts in the slot, motions out toward the boundary, and suddenly there is a speed sweep coming to that side, while Terry is running a deep post on the backside. How does a defense play that? It's almost impossible. Jayden is a quarterback who thrives with playmakers, who can win separation and then do damage after the catch. At LSU, there were Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr., guys who could get open and turn a 5-yard throw into a 50-yard highlight. In the rookie year with the Commanders, Terry McLaurin was that go-to option, but the offense clearly needed more help. Waddle gives Jayden another reliable weapon who can get open on command. 3rd and 7. Waddle running an option route out of the slot, Jayden hits the window. 1st down, red zone. Quick slant with that nasty first step quickness. Wins at the line, touchdown. 2-minute drill, sideline routes, getting out of bounds, controlling the clock. And bro, the chemistry between a young quarterback and a playmaker like Waddle can come together fast. Jayden is smart. Waddle is a technician, a pro, and someone who adjusts routes based on coverage. Those two putting in work on timing and trust day in and day out. Terry has been the undisputed WR1 for years and has done an insane job. But that has meant constant double teams, safety brackets, and the best coverage from every opponent every single week. With Waddle across from Terry, that changes. More single coverage, more one-on-ones, more room to operate. And when Terry gets space, bro, it is game over. Laramie Brown, who had a breakout 2025 season, now slides into the WR3 role. Having Laramie as the 3rd receiver is ridiculous. Most teams are rolling out some average guy in that spot. Washington would have a legit field stretcher and playmaker as the 3rd option. Waddle still has multiple years left on the contract, which is good because there is no need to rush an extension. 100% yes. All right, that's the offensive side. But bro, If there's one thing everybody knows this team still needs, it's defensive help. And what's next? Man, Jaylen Phillips is not just a good edge rusher. This is an elite pass rusher who could completely flip this defense. Reality check, fam. The pass rush in 2025 was terrible. No drama. Just facts. The numbers back it up. The team finished 23rd in the league in pass rush win rate off the edge. That basically means the edge rushers were losing individual matchups most of the time. More snaps than should have been necessary because there was literally nobody else. Dorrance Armstrong had some flashes, but it was inconsistent. Jacob Martin was a decent role player, but that was about it. Beyond those three, Jaden Daniels and the offense had to hang 25-plus points on the board every game because everyone knew the defense was not going to get stops on a consistent basis. Phillips was a first-round pick by the Dolphins in 2021. In 2025, after a deadline trade to the Eagles, the guy produced in just 8 games with Philly. And even those stats do not fully capture the impact. Pro Football Focus gave Phillips a 77.1 pass rush grade in 2025, and the player held the 7th best pass rush win rate in the league at 19.1% among qualifying edge defenders. That's elite one-on-one win production. The best part? Phillips is not just a pure pass rusher, also rock solid against the run, which is huge for Deroni Jones' scheme. Phillips checks all those boxes. At 26, this is still prime time. Pro Football Focus tagged the Commanders as the top destination for Phillips, and bro, it makes total sense. There's a desperate need for an edge rusher. The cap space is there. And there is a defensive coordinator in Deroni Jones who knows how to maximize this type of player. Jones comes out of New Orleans, where there was work with guys like Cam Jordan and Marcus Davenport. That background includes using edge rushers in different alignments, scheming up stunts and twists, and dialing up looks that crank up the impact on third down. And the bonus, signing Phillips doesn't just boost the defense. It also rips a key piece away from the Eagles. Philly wants to keep the player. But if Washington throws down more money and offers a bigger role, why would Phillips not listen? Imagine this. It's 3rd and 8. Phillips is lined up off the right edge. Dorrance Armstrong on the left, Jonathan Allen, and Darren Payne inside. That leaves Allen one-on-one with the guard. Allen wins and gets penetration. The quarterback has to step up. Phillips is screaming off the edge. Phillips adjusts, wraps up, SSCK. Bro, that is the kind of look that could be on deck. Those are the kinds of plays that flip games, swing momentum, and win Sundays. Based on the current edge market, this is probably in the $15 to $20 million per year neighborhood. Yeah, but with $125+ million in cap space, it is totally manageable. More importantly, it's an investment in the single biggest missing piece. The Eagles are going to try hard to keep Phillips. The ability to promise a bigger role. If Adam Peters can sell that vision, Washington can absolutely win that bidding war. Adam Peters is sitting on more than $100 million in cap room, and, with the right moves, can stretch that to somewhere between $125 and $127 million. Jaylen Waddle might be on the trade block. And if that move gets made, this offense could become absolutely unguardable. Jaylen Phillips is out there, waiting for somebody to hand over the kind of contract deserved. This offseason has a chance to be straight-up historic for the Washington Commanders. The money is there. The right GM is in the building. The right quarterback is already on the roster. Now it's all about execution. So fam, drop it down below. What move should Peters pull first? Extend Tunsil. Pull the trigger on a Waddle trade. Lock in Phillips? Because I want a LL of it, bro. And if you drop a like and hit that subscribe button, we're going to keep bringing the best Commanders content on YouTube. Catch you in the next one, Nation. HTTR.